In this video, we'll build a Docker container for this Django app and we'll push that container to AWS, Google Cloud and Azure. So let's get started. So first I'll create here a Docker file. So we need to start from Python, and the version that I will put here is 3.9 Alpine. So this container will have a Python pre-installed with this version, and also Alpine is the smallest version of Linux. Let's add an environment variable, which is Python unbuffered 1. This is needed in order to see the logs in our Python app. And now let's create a working directory. So this you can name it whatever you want. All the files will be added in this app folder. Then we need to install the dependencies. So I will add here a file called requirements.txt. And here I will just add Django with this version. So this is our only requirement, and we need to copy that file to the working directory. So this dot means this working directory. So we'll copy this file to the working directory, and then we need to run the command pip install -r. I will copy the file here. So this will install all the dependencies inside this container. Don't forget also, once you add the dependency, to update also your requirements.txt. Once we install everything, we'll copy all the files. So we'll copy everything here to this working directory, and that's it. So in the end, we'll run the command python manage.py run server. I'll put here the host. It needs to be 0.0.0.0, so it should be inside the Docker container. So this should be the port, the host, sorry, and the port should be 80. Why did I change the port to 80? Because all our containers in this project will run on port 80, and I'm reusing videos, so that's why I put 80. But if you want, you can put the normal port 8000. So let's run this Docker file. To run this Docker file, we have to build it first. So Docker build, and we want to specify the name for this container. So to specify a name, put -t. I'll call it app, and I'll add the dot in the end, which means it will build in this context and it will select this Docker file. Let's run it, and as we can see, it's building. Let's wait till it's completed. So it is built. Now this container can be pushed to the cloud. But before, let's test it on our browser. So to test it on our browser, run docker run. We need to specify a port. So for the container is 80, as we saw. And in our frontend, in our browser, we can put whatever port we want. I will put 8888. In the end, we need our container, which is app. Let's run it. As we can see, our server is running, and now we can go to our browser and type localhost port 8888. And this is our Django app running. So the container is working fine, and now we are ready to push it to the cloud. I will also close the IDE because we won't use it anymore. So I'm logged in now to my AWS management console, and we will push now our Docker container to the Elastic Container Registry. So I have a shortcut here, or we can search it. So let's go to the container registry, and this is the container registry. Let's see the repositories. So we don't have any repositories or registries. We have to create one. So we will push our Docker container here to have our repository. First, before we do anything, make sure to install the AWS CLI. So go to aws.amazon.com/CLI, and on the right side here you can download the Windows version, the Mac OS version, or the Linux version. So with this you will have access to your terminal to AWS, and you have several commands that you can use. So now let's first log into Elastic Container Registry by using this command. So AWS ECR is Elastic Container Registry. This is a command to log in. This is the region US East 2. Pipe Docker login. The username will be AWS. The password it will be generated by this one. So that's why is password stdin, and this other URL is like this is our user ID, so we can find that if we go to our account we have the ID here. So that's it. And .docker.ecr, this is also the same region, and Amazon AWS.com. Let's run this command, and we successfully logged in. And now what is left is to push our Docker container to the Elastic Container Registry. So to do that, we have to do docker tag. The name of our container was app, and I will copy again this URL. So we have to tag it to this URL / in the end app. So the name should be the same here, and this URL we'll use it a lot. So let's tag this, and after we tag it we have to push it. So remove tag to push, and let's wait till it's completed. So we get an error that the repository with name app does not exist. So let's create it. We are here at the repositories, and let's create a repository. So this is the same URL, and it will be app. So I'm just checking the region if it is the same. So this will be a private repository. This is the repository name, and I will leave the others by default. Let's create this repository, and we created it. So let's push our image now, not here, here, docker push, and now it's pushing. So this will take some time, and the image will be pushed to the repository. So our image has been pushed. So if we go to our repository, we have one latest image here, the size and everything else. So we have our image in our repository. I'll copy the URI here for the repository because we will need it. And now let's go to Amazon Container Service, Elastic Container Service, ECS. And here go to the clusters, and we will create a cluster. So I will select the AWS Fargate cluster because it will take care of the managing of the server for us. If you want to manage your server, select this other one, but this is way easier if we select AWS Fargate. So let's go next. The cluster name, so my app, and I will create a default VPC for this cluster, and I won't select anything else. Let's create it. And let's wait till this is completed. So the cluster is created. Click View Cluster. And now we need a task definition. So go to Task Definitions and let's create a new task definition. So I'll select Fargate. Next step, the task definition name, I'll call it app. The role, I'll select none. And the network mode, I'll select the default. And for the task memory, 0.5 gigabytes, this CPU, so I'll select the minimal versions. And the container, here we need to add the container that we just copied, so this container. And the container name, it will be also app. Here we need to set up the port, so 80 was the port inside the container, so we have to map it here. And we can add also other configurations, but I won't add any, so let's add this. And we added our container there, and that's it basically. Let's create this task definition. So it was successful. And now let's go to our cluster. And here, now we can create our service. So this will be also a Fargate. We need the task definition that we created. So Amazon will automatically assign it. We need a service name, so app. So we have a lot of apps with names. Number of tasks, I will select 1, but you can select 2. It will create 2 containers. 1, it will be only 1 container. So I will keep everything minimal, but you can select 2. And everything should be okay now. So let's go to the next step. Subnets, I'll select one of these options. And I'll assign a public IP, yes. Load balancer, I will select none. And next step. Here we can autoscale, but since this is an example, I will not autoscale, so it will be just a simple container. Review, create service. So everything is created. So let's go to the view service and let's click here. And the status is pending. Let's wait till is running. And then after it's running, we will have a public IP, which we will see it. Let's wait. So our task is running now, and we have a public IP for it. So I'll copy this IP, I'll paste it here, and this is our app. So this is how we deploy a Docker container to AWS Fargate. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.